Welcome to the show, man. You already know what it is. It's the Mr. Baby King 1033 Sassy. That's me, you dig? This is Famo Nation Live, man. This is our new podcast, our first show, man. We got plenty more to go. We got an amazing guest coming on the show, man. Amazing guest coming on the show. Awesome. So we're gonna bring her in and we're gonna get the interview session started. 17-year-old dynamic. 17-year-old dynamic. She's coming on from Rapid City, South Dakota. So appreciate everybody that's tuning in, everybody that's gonna check out this because this is amazing. And some of the work that she's doing and the things that she's a part of is incredible. So we're gonna bring her in. Let's go ahead and get her in now and get her to the stage. We got to get this going. I've been waiting. It's been exciting. Miss KYMBYR, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing amazing. First off, appreciate you for taking your time out and coming on the show to speak with us and allow the people to know what's going on in your life and in your area and the impact that you are making and others are making. I feel like it's so wonderful, the work that you are doing. So before we start, you go ahead and tell them a little bit about yourself.
My name is KYMBYR Sainer. I am 17 years old. And I am a senior in high school, actually graduating early, which is exciting.
Amazing.
I really like to help the community. So I'm in a bunch of committees and task force, and I do a bunch of meetings. And I created my own nonprofit organization. It's called Uncommon Connections. It's a support group for teenagers here in Rapid City, South Dakota, actually. It's getting a little bit, nobody's really showing up, but that's okay. We're just getting it started, so I'm not too worried about it.
Right. Don't get discouraged.
Yes. I don't know. I just really like teaching hard to talk about topics to teenagers who don't really get the chance to hear about the knowledge and the education behind it.
I understand. And when we had you on the radio show on Family Nation Forever Radio, we spoke with you briefly about some things. And one of the key things that stuck with me from that conversation was when you expressed that often teenagers and the youth feel way more comfortable discussing it with their peers and discussing certain things with their peers. And I thought that was very key because sometimes us as parents and us as adults, we might not be that person that they open up to. Could you speak on just a little bit of that from your knowledge and from your experience with and from dealing with the people of your peers?
Yes. So teenagers don't really like to walk up to an adult and be like, hey, this is happening. Because most of the time they don't understand. Us teenagers are growing up different than how adults have grown up. And so
I agree.
If you can connect with someone who has gone through the same things that you have gone through or similar situations, that gives more of an impact educationally, I guess. They can take more from it when a teen is talking to them about it more than, an adult being like, don't do this, or you need to get help. Like, that's not really something they want to hear. They want someone they can connect with.
That connection. I understand. Amazing. And with your nonprofit, what was your thoughts when you first decided you wanted to do that, and that was something that was placed on you? What was that thought? What situation that led you to want to step into this?
So a little bit of a backstory behind that, behind Uncommon Connections. It actually started as a sticky note in my English class as a project. And usually in this project, once you get graded on it, they just kind of, don't do it anymore. But I'm very persistent. So I decided to keep going, and it took a lot of work. So my initial thought was to do a suicide prevention presentation at my school in front of the entire school and talk about it and give them resources. And then I realized that a lot of people do that. Right. They go to schools and they talk about mental health and suicide prevention and, all of those different things. And it doesn't really do anything. Right. So teenagers around the world don't really have a lot of resources for them. Like, they have counseling and one-on-one, but I feel like a group setting where people can connect is better than, you know, one-on-one conversations with a counselor or someone who doesn't know their background like their friends do. So I honestly just wanted to give the teenagers something that they don't normally get. And if you do go to a, support group, you have to pay for it. And some teenagers don't have a job, or they're just getting into school, or they're just graduating, and it's really hard. And so
Yeah.
I wanted to be a nonprofit to where I'm teaching the lessons as a peer and have those personal experiences. And I've done my research. And so I guess teaching the teenagers that they're not alone, because,
I
they
understand
do
that.
feel like they are.
Right. A lot of them do, even when you talk to them, and that's amazing. That's amazing. And I'm glad that we have youth out there just like you, and that you are doing what you're doing, and the people that are working with you. Can you talk a little bit about, those people that assist you with this and that you work with?
So I was actually talking to them earlier, and they don't really want me to disclose them yet. Just
Okay.
I
No
have
problem.
higher
No
power.
problem. Hi to all of them.
However, they are a really big part of it continuing.
Okay.
Without them, I wouldn't have a place to host it. And they are a big resource here in Rapid City. And so they're a place where teenagers can go if they are in a crisis or they need someone to talk to right away. And so they really just, I don't know, the resources here are a little hard to get to, but once you do, it's a little bit of a bumpy ride, and then you become friends with them and it's okay.
Okay. Okay. Now, and about the Inner Voice movie event. We
Yes.
got the flyer. We put it out there. Been talking about it. Can you explain to us about the Inner Voice movie event?
So it is actually going to be on YouTube, on the YouTube page. I think tomorrow, maybe
Okay.
not, maybe the next day. But it is going to be on there for anybody who wants to watch it. It's on the Take Action South Dakota page, or SD YouTube page. And then that one, I actually helped write it.
Oh wow.
So
Okay.
I gave ideas, and one of our team members wrote this script, and she gave us all roles, and we acted it out. And basically, what Take Action is, it's a youth led theater group where we write, perform, and film short skits for teenagers to talk about hard to talk about topics. And one of them that we needed to talk about was mental health. And so we basically used two people. One was the main character, and then one was just the voice in the back of their head, hanging over their shoulder saying, like, you can't do it. Like,
Right.
you can't be that person. And that's crazy. And so
Right.
in that film, it's basically, we taught ways to cope with it and showed support systems, and basically are just educating the youth that everybody has an inner voice. Like, adults have
Right.
it, right? Like, you
Right.
can do something and be super nervous, and like, even for this, I'm not gonna lie, before it, I was like, I don't know if I can. I was
Right.
nervous. And then once you do it, it's a lot easier and it just flows. So we are educating on, keeping that inner voice compacted, I guess. So you hear it, but you don't really respond to it.
Right. I understand. I understand. And I looked into the page too. Y'all make sure y'all go check the page out with the Take Action SD page, the South Dakota page as well. And I kind of got familiar with some of the things that you do that are on there with the videos, and that's amazing. Right now in today's time, with everything that you guys are going through, even with the stats, statistically, you guys are dealing with a lot of stress more than ever. You're dealing with a lot of anxiety more than ever. So things like this and the things that you guys are doing are very, very needed, and very needed in your community with your peers, and also around as well. Because at this point in time, like you said, a lot of us as parents and a lot of older people, the times we living in and that we grew up in were a lot different, a lot of different things. right now the pressure is on you guys. So how do you cope with being able to do all of this and being that person and being that light and standing in that gap? How do you cope with some of these things when you get a little frustrated or seem like you might get boggled down?
Um, I kind of don't really cope with it, actually. There are days where I just, sit in my room and I sing to myself, or I write journals, or I just bombard myself with homework from school. I
Okay.
my mind busy, so I don't hear that inner voice telling me I can't do something.
Okay.
And then also when I'm starting to get to where I feel like I'm getting down, I help those kids. I find different community opportunities here, and I get involved with them and I talk to them and I figure out ideas to help those teenagers cope, because helping other people heals a part of myself. And so if I can educate just one person in a group of 400, then I'm okay with that. They can go out and educate their friends, and then it's just a circle. It's just a cycle that never ends. And it starts with just that one person that listens.
I understand. I understand. That's amazing. That is amazing. Now, and I know you can't disclose a lot, and the work that you're doing with the nonprofit, that I feel like that is amazing as well. And when I heard about it, when you came on to the radio show and explained us about it, it touched because, like I said, you can get on social media, you can get on the news and all these things and see a bunch of negative stuff, right? And you can see a bunch of people where we talk about the younger generation and we talk about the youth, but it's not a lot of the teaching that goes out that actually helps them. So when you started speaking and the things that you were speaking about, it did touch us because that was like, okay, the youth are out there. It is people out there that care. And we know this, but standing up and standing out is something that we actually honor. We created a award for that. And I know with the research, with the take action, the pages, I see that's something that you guys also have in with your we're affiliated with yours is the standing up and the speaking out. Can you touch on that? How important do you feel about that, about the standing up and the speaking out?
I feel like if you are going through something and you just sit back and don't say anything about it, it puts more pressure on you, I think, because you don't know how to talk to those people, or because you just bottle it up. So I feel like if there's one person that stands up in one community of 5,000 people, and there's just that one person that can bring hope and, opportunities to those who don't really have them,
Yeah,
just that one person really standing up is all that we can ask for. If we stand in a group and we're like, hey, all of you raise your hand if so and so did this, like nobody's going to raise their hand except for like maybe one person, and that
I
person is
understand.
the most persistent person. I truly believe standing up and saying something or involving yourself in a community is beneficial for not only you but everyone around you.
Understand. Appreciate everybody that's watching too. And we got a comment from Daisy. Daisy says hi to you.
Hi.
So appreciate everybody for supporting, and that's a big thing as well. Supporting you guys, supporting the youth, supporting the next generation, because you guys are the leaders of tomorrow. And doing these things, at your age, you guys' age, caring about mental health, caring about helping each other or being there for each other in the times when they can't go to anybody else. That right there is amazing. And I'm a parent, so I can attest to what some of the things you speak on about us not being the one that teenagers and young adults come to when they want to talk to us because of whatever reason, and being able to have peers that have the groups and that they're comfortable with to go and express to. That right there, I can tell from a parent's point of view, those things are key because it can help us as parents. It can help us as adults because you guys know what is going on. You feel the pressure, you feel the stress and the weights of what your guys are dealing through. And sometimes we don't see that, right? We see it through our eyes. So I'm glad that you spoke on the things that you spoke on, and especially on the radio show and on this platform as well, because a lot of kids and a lot of people need to hear that. We always tell you guys what to do, and how you should feel, but that's not right. And it often can turn younger youth away from us instead of to us.
I
So go ahead.
I have a couple of different things that I used to teach my when I went to the groups that I created, because now I'm
Okay.
a little too busy to go. But I
Understand.
did my own lesson plans for these. I researched and I, worked up different plans. So like some of them were the important life lessons that we often are taught too late. So like one of them that I put was making every moment count. Like you never know when you're going to lose
Yes.
somebody or something's going to happen. So you have to make sure that, you know, um, life goes faster than we think it does, for sure.
Okay. For
Or
sure.
being flexible with your own goals. Like if you, for me, my entire goal was to get uncommon connections up. And once I did, it became a little overwhelming. And so I handed it over to the people that were helping me, and I still create the lesson plans and I still contribute. But right now I still have to focus on, graduating and all of the things because
Right.
I am just a teenager. So
Right.
can't really pile everything onto themselves and do all of it. But I did
Understand.
create lesson plans for these teenagers to listen to. Like some of them were positive boundaries and tips for positive boundaries and self-awareness. I taught the self-awareness wheel. Do you know what the self-awareness wheel is?
Yes, I do heavy research on self awareness. That's
So
amazing.
there's a thing called the wheel, the awareness wheel.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, there's like 6 different parts, or you can put as many as you want on there, actually. And it's like what you observe in your life, what you feel, what you see, like how you communicate, what your goals are. Basically, it's just a wheel of things that you want to do. And you put all of those down, and then you look back at it a year after, or even 3 days after you did it. And you're like, holy Hannah, I, messed that up. I didn't do that I wanted to, but I still can. And so that awareness wheel
Right.
is basically making yourself aware to what you want to do in that moment. And then even if that moment changes, you can still do it. It just is going to take a lot more work than you thought it would.
Amazing. Amazing. You are like a breath of fresh air, and like again, it is amazing. And again, appreciate everybody that supports you and that is around you, and actually also to the adults, the mentors, the counselors in the school system, everybody that also allows you to facilitate in your group to do these things, because that is encouragement, and you can tell they standing behind you, and they support you guys. How
Yeah.
big do you think that is when it comes to the youth, the support from us adults?
I think, having that support system from those that you care about, whether it's your family, your friends, even trusted adults like your teachers, a group of your teachers could be your support system.
Right,
Just recognizing and knowing that those people are around, whether, time gets hard, like they're still going to be there. If you have a problem, like go ahead and talk to them. They'll sit there and listen. You can scream at them. You can vent, you can cry, like they still will be there whether time gets hard or not. They won't leave. Like that's your group. And so I feel
right,
like having that support system from those around you is one of the most important things ever. And nowadays especially because, teenagers don't really know who their real friends are. They make a group of friends and they're like, maybe they're not the best type of friends. And then they go
right,
home and tell their parents and they're like, yeah, maybe they're not the best type of friends. And later on, you get in an argument and you're like, maybe they are, right? Like they're wrong. The adults don't know.
right,
And then, something happens and you're like, well, shoot, my mom was right, or my grandpa was right, or, even my English teacher was correct. Like that's having that support system and that support from those around you is one of the most important things for sure. You cannot do anything by yourself.
amazing, amazing. And you're getting a lot of love from a lot of people out there. Your cheerleader. He said I'm her cheerleader. So they want to give you the support out there, and that's amazing as well. And that's why I wanted you to touch on that too, because us as adults to support the youth and to give that compassion and understanding, but being able to listen to what you guys are saying and what you guys are trying to do, instead of pre-planning that for you guys. I think that is very crucial to you guys' generation because of everything that you're dealing with. And like I said, that's overall the board. So more and more youth like yourself and like the others are standing up and speaking out and making a difference. And that's definitely what you guys are doing. Now I know in one of the pictures that I have, you're holding a plaque, right? And your
Yeah.
name is on that plaque. What is that about?
So long story short, I didn't know I was getting it.
Okay.
um, Basically, my principal at my school came into the office and was like, "You're going to the school board meeting." And I was like, "Okay." And I go, and apparently they just started this new thing just this year, where they do volunteer of the semester. And basically, you volunteer the community and do a bunch of task force and help the school. And I was volunteer of the semester of spring of 22, 23. I don't remember. But I was
Okay.
a volunteer of the school. And so
Right.
that's pretty cool. My name is in my school's trophy case forever. That's
That's
wonderful.
amazing. And it's for the volunteer work.
Yes. I am in a lot of task force and committees
Okay.
dealing with like homelessness and human trafficking prevention and mental health in teenage prevention and um, a whole bunch of different things, really. They just pile.
Right. And I'm glad you touched on the trafficking too, because I know that is something that is very serious and that you guys actually deal with a lot, and it's a terrible situation. But I'm glad that you speak on that and speak the awareness on that as well. So
Yeah.
that's a key thing.
Yeah, I am our mission is to really reduce the rates for the rally. That's our goal. So basically, we've come up with the rally is one of the largest places that the human trafficking happens here. And so if we can get the word out and, show people signs and give them business cards that have, things to look for, people to contact, who to talk to, if we can do that to reduce the numbers, then that's our entire goal. And also with that, we have resources for survivors. We have places for them to go and live if they need, or food and hygiene. And we really strive to help the members of our communities just push forward and, not, I wouldn't say get past their past traumas, but,
Right.
learn to cope with them and move forward for sure.
I can understand that. I can understand that. I'm glad you touched on all those things. Amazing, amazing. What are some of the things that you're looking to do, just moving forward? And you don't have to give any certain details, or anything like that. But as far as in you in life moving forward to continue on this path, what are some of the things that you are interested in doing or stepping into?
I am not gonna lie, I want to teach.
Okay.
I don't know. I haven't decided yet if I
Okay.
want to teach hard to talk about topics to the communities, but I do for sure want to be a preschool teacher. So that is my
Wow.
all-time goal.
Okay. Okay. Amazing. And it's
Yeah,
very needed.
I
And
love,
preschool is needed.
yes, for sure. And if you teach them young, the social skills and how to be, you know, nice to the people around them and,
Right.
learn how to do things the way society wants them to do them in the right way morally, then, teaching them young is probably the best way to go.
Okay, okay. And I know I could tell your passion, and you're very passionate about these things that you're doing, that you're involved in. What's some that you feel like, or what is one of them that you're involved in that you feel like might not get enough attention or enough awareness for what it does, that you feel like you wish it would, or wish you could see it get more attention and more awareness?
We have a task force committee coalition here for homelessness and
Okay,
home insecurity. And yeah, I feel like that is the most, non looked at topic
okay,
for sure. Um, and it's not just with, teenagers, like adults too. everybody, has some type of opinion on, homeless and home insecurity, and it's not what they think it is. And we're
Right.
trying really hard to do that, which in November, we have a glow walk on the 14th here in Rapid City downtown, if
Okay.
anybody here is interested.
Okay. And what is that?
So basically, we are going to light up the downtown square green. And
Wow.
green means runaway prevention. And so basically, we are going to walk to different resource places, business providers, different places like that. Our
Okay.
mayor, I hope, or one of his people in his office are going to come down and read a proclamation that we had passed. And so we will have hopefully a drum line and a bunch of people walking with us. And so
Amazing.
basically, we're going to start at one place and we're going to go in a complete circle and we're going to just touch base with a few business providers and what they do and what resources they can give us. And then we'll meet back and there will be a couple of shows like dancing, drum lines. People will be speaking about their stories and this is more of a, build the community, let them
I
know that they
understand.
can be connected and get the word out as well.
Okay. Amazing. Amazing. Now, information so that the people that might watch the video come across this can connect in with you. Can you give the information where they can connect in with your nonprofit and also with the Take Action? And for me too, I'll make sure that I also put a link to the Take Action group as well in the comments. But can you give them the information to where they can contact you and they can find out about these things?
They can email me on
Okay.
my actually my Uncommon Connections email. So basically, that is a email that I have created for people who do need to talk, or that need to find different resources that they, don't know where they are, how to contact them. I can give that information. So if they
Amazing.
email Uncommon Connections 2023 at gmail.com, I don't always check it I check it on a daily basis, but I'm not always on it. So if I don't
Mm,
reply to them, I'm so sorry, but I will get back to you as soon as I can.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Now, anything that you would like the people to know about what you have going on and the people that you work with that we didn't cover?
Um, just to
'Cause I know
know,
you do a lot of amazing stuff.
thank you. I try. Basically, it's really hard to, tell teenagers this, but um, I'm sure a lot of teenagers are probably going to get mad. However, social media is a really big issue. Um,
Yes.
I do not have social media. I believe that it is very dangerous. Um, Along with the human trafficking, like Snapchat is one of the biggest platforms that are with that. Quick ad is
Yes.
number one. And then there's also, Instagram and like Twitter, or what do they call it now? X or something.
X now. Yes.
Um,
Right. Right.
and
Yeah.
then also like Facebook even, or a lot of people won't believe me when I say this, but Wattpad, it's a place where they can go write books and read different stories that people have written. And it's also one of the biggest issues. Social media, everyone's like, well, I need to connect with my friends, but also social media is one of the main reasons that teenagers' mental health is going down. Like the
Understand that.
self-esteem aspect of that. Like you can look at a post or make a post and someone can comment on it and it can be, hateful or negative. And you're just like,
Yes.
well, maybe I need to change something, or I don't like the way I looked because I saw a picture of this other person that looked this certain way and I want to look the same.
Right.
And so that creates a lot of illnesses like eating disorders, and like self-esteem issues can become, depression, anxiety, even suicidal ideation. Like it's really bad. So
Yes.
social media also does connect you with your peers. Like if you have friends from different states that moved away and they are not always on, text message or phone calls. Like, that's okay. But there's a difference between knowing the person that you're contacting and, getting to know the person. So
Right.
I feel like teenagers don't know the strangers on social media.
I
There are a
understand
lot
what
of
you're saying.
And so
Yes.
knowing your worth, really, um, no matter what somebody tells you or somebody comments or even the way they look at you, like, know your worth. You are unique. Every human is unique in their own way. And
Right.
they have to know that there's nobody else out there like them. And if, they want to change to be somebody else and everyone else was the same, like if everybody in the world was the same as the next person, the world would be boring.
Right.
And
Extremely boring.
right, like, why would you want to be somebody else? Like, you're your own person. You're meant to do great things, whether you know it yet or not. And so getting to know your worth and taking those steps to know your worth. And honestly, there was a point in time where I didn't know mine. And I finally am getting there. Like, I still am on that path. It's a long road and it's very bumpy,
Right.
but you get there eventually.
Right. Right. Great stuff.
Also, knowing your boundaries too, setting those boundaries with the people that, you don't really want around, or those friends that are not really friends, or, even boundaries for yourself. Like, self-care is a big thing too.
Right.
And I
True.
have a hard time doing that still. And I'm, a teen advocate. Like, I advocate for these teens to do this, but I'm not going to lie. There are days I don't do it.
I
There are days I
understand.
stay in bed all day long and I don't get
And
up. And so,
that's okay.
yeah, it is okay to have those days. Like, mental health days are a
Right.
real thing. If you are feeling really down that day, take a day to yourself. Sleep if you need it. Read, write, run, walk, go play at a park with your friends. Like, take that day to recalibrate your energy and, re-energize your brain to know that, like, it's another day. Every day is different. And like I said, everything that feels big right now won't later. It
Yeah.
might for a couple of weeks or even a couple months, but in the long run, it really just makes you stronger. Everything that you go
Right.
through makes you a stronger you.
Correct. Correct. I agree with you. You are amazing, and you said a lot of powerful things, and you could tell you're very passionate, not only about yourself and your self well being, but about the well being of others and your peers, and being able to help them and doing the things that you can to stand in that gap. And I think that's very respectable, and you can tell by the light that's glowing all around you and about around the things that you do and the people that support you. Seem like you have some really amazing people that support you and encourage you. So keep those, like you said, that support system is great and is very needed because you're
Yeah.
doing a lot of things, and it's okay to get boggled down. It's okay to feel like it's overwhelming and stuff. And the great thing about it is your direction. You know the things that you want to do, and you're not going to give up. It's okay that you might fall short, but you pick yourself up and you keep on going. So I know you're gonna have them days where you might want to be like, you know what, I was gonna throw it all in, and like you said, that's okay, that's good, that helps make you strong, and it helps you sometimes get through situations because you have to get those things out and express yourselves the way you have to. But you pick yourself up and you keep going and you keep pushing because you are a light that can help change a lot of people's lives, a lot of your peers' outlooks on things. So you keep pushing, you stay motivated, stay inspired. And yeah, when you get tired, like you said, shake it off, wake up the next day and go attack and keep pushing the issue because you're doing some amazing work and it's respected.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Okay, can you give out your email one more time?
Yes, Uncommon Connections. The U is capitalized. And then 2023 at gmail.com.
All right. Now, anybody that you want to give a special shout out to or anything like that before we go?
Um, Special shout out to 3 people, actually.
Okay.
One is my dad, Joseph Sainer.
Yes.
He helped connect me, and I really,
Amazing, man.
it's been a really great experience. My mom, she she's always been there, no matter how
Yes,
hard it's
respect.
got. She's never left, and that is one of the biggest things. She's my biggest supporter, I feel like, for sure. And then
Respect.
also my boyfriend, Braden. He
Braden.
he is
Okay.
also my cheerleader,
The
actually.
cheerleader. Okay. All right. All right. Hey, what's going on, Braden? Okay.
He has been a big part of helping me keep going too. There are days where I'm like,
Amazing.
I don't want to get up this morning, and he's like, you know what? Get up. And I get up, and it becomes a good day. Like there are days that I'm like, no. And he always talks me down. Like I can call him and be in tears, and he will always he will make me smile for sure, whether I want to or not.
That's amazing. Well, respect Braden for doing that, man. You keep on too, man. Sound like a good person right there.
Yes. Thank you. Appreciate you
Well,
guys.
most definitely. Well, I appreciate you again for taking your time out. And one thing with us, we never do one and done. So, once we come in contact with people, we like to stay in contact. We like to do follow ups and we like to continue to support. So, I definitely will be in contact with you and we will be watching and supporting anything that you guys are doing that we can assist with on our end. Just reach out to us, no problem. We'll make sure if we can that we do that for you.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys. And anytime, if you guys want me to come and advocate or even just chat, I am
Yes.
100% willing to do that.
Yes, we definitely got to get you back on the show too because you hold a lot of knowledge when it comes to the youth and how to address them. And I believe it's one thing that I would like to get you back on too, and some ways we could talk about that they could help adults talk to their youth and talk to their kids because I know that's a big block for a lot of parents is knowing how to address them so it doesn't make them feel like, oh man, I ain't fit to tell them nothing. I'm not telling them anything. If we can learn ways that can get us past that, then we can understand our kids more and the youth that are around us. We can understand them more instead of not understanding them. So I definitely will be getting you back to kind of help us with some ways as adults that we can talk to the younger generation.
Absolutely.
All right.
I will be in contact.
Appreciate you. Well, thank you. Appreciate you again for taking your time out. Appreciate everybody that has tuned into the show. This is the first podcast show we do. We do Famo Nation Forever Radio, but this here has been a honor to have you on the show and have you come and bring that energy with us and share it for everybody that's going to watch this video. So I'll stay in contact, and for everybody out there, appreciate y'all. Make sure you go follow her and catch up and keep up with all the amazing work. Big shouts out Rapid City, South Dakota, man. Y'all have some amazing people that way. So appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good one until next time.